Thanks for joining me today on the Maven's Private Diaries. I dedicate this episode to every vulva everywhere in the world. I'm speaking with Ellie Sedgwick, who's the founder of Comfortable in My Skin. Ellie's on a mission to help women everywhere feel comfortable having discussions around their vulva, to look at their vulva, to take care of the health of their vulva. And she certainly is my sort of woman. So enjoy this chat, and please make sure that you follow Ellie. I'll put links in the listing platform wherever you are. Let's go.
Thank you for joining the Maven's Private Diaries, brought to you by thespicyboudoir.com, purveyor of high-quality, premium, body-safe pleasure products for the over 50s and people living with a disability.
Hi, my name is Susan, and these are my private diaries. Occasionally I will host a guest speaker or read out someone else's diary, with their permission, of course.
Content warning.
This podcast contains the occasional swear word, lewd comments and discussion around sex.
Warning, warning.
You will no doubt hear the emotional pangs of a woman who has lost her libido to menopause. Listen at your own risk and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm the founder of Comfortable in My Skin, and I'm so happy to have just finished a great podcast with Susan. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm Susan, the Maven from the Spicy Boudoir, and I love meeting people who are comfortable talking about sexuality, particularly talking about their vulvas. And if you'd like to reach the same level of comfort, please look us up, follow us. You can find Ellie on Instagram.
Comfortable in My Skin with an underscore at the end.
And I'm at the Spicy Boudoir, or you can find me as at Susan _ the Maven. Hi everyone, it's Susan, the Maven, standing behind camera this time, and I'm speaking to Ellie, the founder of Comfortable in My Skin. And I'm blessing the universe because I met Ellie on the weekend at an event called the Big Booby Bash. Big shout out to Georgia Lashman from Confessions of a G-Cup for arranging this fabulous event. There were lots of boobs on display on the fashion runway, but in particular, what really got my heart was the panel discussion. And Ellie was on the panel and brought up her experience in high school around vulvas. Mm-hmm. And has now developed a project. And Ellie, I would love for you to just give a bit of background and tell my community what your project is going to be.
Okay, so when I was in high school, I was extremely self-conscious of my vulva. I had certain experiences happen throughout my early years that made me feel like there was one certain kind of vulva that was more beautiful than the other. When I was in a maths classroom when I was about 14, a boy tapped me on the shoulder and he said, he gave me a letter and it said, do you have an innie or an outie? And I thought he meant belly buttons, but I found out that there's two kind of vulvas, exclamation. And one is where your inner labia protrudes below your outer labia, and the other one is when you're like a Barbie doll and you have nothing. But I have very big outer labia, I've realized. So when I wear undies, swimmers, as they called Lady Gaga's, there's a bulge. That's what the magazines would say. And it made me really self-conscious. So for the rest of high school, I spent all my years thinking that there was something wrong with my body and that I was maybe not worthy of a loving relationship or, really beautiful sex with someone because of the way my vulva looked. And so the only person I could tell I thought was my sister. So her name's Nikki. She was great. She held my hand through these horrible years when I would sleep with someone and I would cry the whole next day because I'd be so worried that he or she, because I've always gone both ways, would tell what my body looked like. As I got older, I went on to travel, and it was when I was about 20 I came home, and the exact same thing happened. I slept with someone, and then I was in the park with my sister the next day, and I was crying, and I said, what if he tells someone what I look like? And my sister sort of said to me, like, Ellie, this has gone on for too long. And she had discovered what labioplasty was, which is where they trim your labia so it looks neater. So I started the journey of looking into labioplasty, and I had lots of consultations. I had 2 in Sydney, where in both of the consultations they didn't even look at my vulva. They just said, we can book you in. They even like tried to work out ways they could get it cheaper for me. So they were like, if your labia is a certain length, you can have it under Medicare trimmed. And eventually I spent many years living in India as a babysitter. I had the money when I was a little bit older, and I went to go through with the surgery. I was standing there in front of this cosmetic surgeon, and I was so uncomfortable. I couldn't find the right words to express what I wanted. So I was asking this doctor for liposuction, and I got myself just in this horrible situation where he was using a highlighter to draw onto my legs, showing me what they could do, and I couldn't even find the voice in my throat to say like my vulva, and I didn't even know it was called a vulva at this stage. That was the lack of education I had around this body part. So I ended up saying to him, could you please fix my vagina? And this doctor asked me to remove my undies, which was just a horrible experience, and he looked at my body and he said, like, you poor girl, like, you don't even realize that this is just your body, like, this is your labia. He was just shocked that I didn't, you know, he was like, why would you want this? I think it has a lot to do with in India as well. They're like, if you know, you don't sleep with as many people in their culture, and if someone loves you, that's, you know, you usually have like one person. It is changing, but he was like, if someone loves you, they love all of you. But he also said he went and got a little side mirror, and he brought it over, and he told me to put my chin forward like this, my teeth, and he said that for the same price I could get a chin extension, which was hilarious. And that was when I had my aha moment, because I was like, why on earth would I have a chin extension? That's crazy. This is my chin. And so I sort of started, the moment I left, I texted my best friend Steph and said, like, the doctor tried to make me get a chin extension, and she was like, how dare he like ruin our chin selfies, because every day we put our chins down and we send each other these funny selfies. So anyway, we laughed about it, and that's when he explained to me what vulvas look like and that they're all different, and he just said, I think you need to go and look at what other vulvas look like before you get a surgery like this. Which is funny because everyone says like, oh, it must be because of porn and blah 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 and this and that, but it was like, had nothing. I wasn't someone that watched porn at all in high school, so it was just all in my own head. And actually what I needed was to just, I'm creating now, what I needed was to look at other people's vulvas and realize that they are all different, and that's like your eyebrows, your belly buttons, every part of your body is so different, so why would your vulva be any different? So then I ended up going on this big journey. It all started in 2018 with a Facebook post that said, does anybody want to have their vulva photographed? I would like to get 10 of every age group. And then it just went mental. People were messaging me being like, I will. And that's when I found out that 2 of my best friends had had labioplasty, one when she was 16 and another one when she was 18. And so I started to realize that it wasn't just me that had suffered from these thoughts in my head, and that something needed to be done about it. So I created Comfortable in My Skin, and it's going to be a coffee table book with 500 vulvas, or however many it takes to be able to have a coffee table book where any person all around the world can pick it up and find a vulva that's a representation as close as possible to theirs. So however many that takes and however many countries I have to travel to, I am on a mission, a quest to photograph all the vulvas and I want it to be in plastic surgeon's office, GP's office, gynecology's office, just so that people can walk in and a 14-year-old can walk in and say, like, I feel self-conscious, and they can go, here you go, here's a coffee table book of all these vulvas. You are perfectly normal as you are, and you don't need to change your body to fit society's idea of beauty.
Wow. That's amazing, and I hope everyone is feeling like I am. All those points in your journey, I take it to the boy who gave you that note. Are you an innie or an outie? I would have responded to him on my belly button.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sorry that you had that experience, because
well, I used my pain as my power, and
that's
now
good. Well, if you can flip it and turn it, that's good. And that's a lesson for everybody, to use their pain as power. I guess that's what powers me too.
Yes.
In essence, taking the N word out of descriptions of vulvas. What is normal? Everyone is normal. There's, you know, we all have, to varying degrees, different shapes, different presentations, different colours, different sizes of our clitoris and our inner labia minora and our hymen. Some people have hymens still, others don't. I think I broke mine when I was 12.
Yeah, bike riding or something.
Yeah, no, I played hockey and I said to my sister, I think I have my period, because there was blood on my undies, but didn't turn up again until I was 13. So I really admire this journey that you're going on, this mission. You probably can't see where we are, but Ellie bought a bus, and she's going to travel all around Australia.
Around the whole of Australia.
There you go. And how will people find you? Will you have...
I do most of my work on Instagram. Although I have had 17 warnings of my account being deleted because of the content I post is sexual activity. But really, I'm just trying to educate people about having safe sex, comfortable sex, sex with the lights on, boundaries, a strong yes, a strong no. I work really hard to get people to a stage, because for me, I was so self-conscious. I wasn't having orgasms. I wasn't experiencing pleasure. I was having sex for the other person, and I was having people go down on me, and I was just laying there being like, when is this going to end? Make it stop. And now I have sex for myself. Do you want that incense smoke? Is maybe
it's fine. I think it adds a bit of a bit of atmosphere.
Okay,
and I'll leave that in. I won't edit this out.
I'm like, the incense smoke's going across.
Well, it is incense and not pot.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So I work really hard so that people can feel comfortable to talk about their taboo topics, because I have realized that we all go through our own journeys, and a lot of it people bottle up and they don't share their experiences with their friends and their family, and I think it just amplifies the problem. So I have created 36 genital herpes support groups, both oral and genital. I have thrush groups, bacteria vaginosis groups, vaginismus groups, Lynch and sclerosis, vaginismus. I have a lot of support groups, because my whole thing is that the more
so I was dating online, and I decided in the end, every person I met, and I told them I was dating with HSV2, I'd never see them again.
Yeah.
So I thought, fuck yous. I put a new profile up, and in my tagline I said, I have HSV2, thank fuck it's not a Holden. And then I wrote what I was looking for, and about, if you understand what my tagline means and you share that, or you understand about you can still be sexual, then, you know, send me a message. The number of messages I got from men saying, oh, what's wrong with Holdens? You know, I've got a Maloo, would you like to see my Maloo? Stupid. But then I also, on the other scale, I had some fabulous messages from men admiring me for my candor, frankness, honesty and my strength. And one of them became a lover and had a great time, and that's all in history now. But yeah, so back to you. So where's your first port of call for your photography?
Well, so I'm on the journey right now. So I'm doing an event in each big city. So I've done a dominatrix event in the Gold Coast, which we brought in a dominatrix, and we had performances from lap dance professionals, Eleanor Hadley. She's a sensuality coach. The whole dominatrix workshop was about trust, boundaries, and communication. So we had many different people come and speak and show us, and we did lots of activities, everything to learn of all of those kinds of things. And then I did the Big Booby Bash, and then I go south. So I head to another dominatrix event in Newcastle, and then Sydney, Melbourne, all the way around Adelaide, WA, and around the entire way.
You need a t-shirt, concert tour.
Pussy tour, Pussy Tour 2022.
I did think of a name for you the other day when we talked about on the panel about the name for your bus.
Yes, I need to name the bus.
So, and someone came up with stuffed olive.
Yes.
Because it's called Ollie.
It's originally called Ollie from the guy who I bought it from, and I feel really bad changing the name, but I really want to have a female bus because I just love females. So I want it to be a pussy bus. So everyone was saying Olive, and then everyone was like, you could have it stuffed olive. Which I do like.
Yeah.
But I feel like a good name for it was maybe the Pussy Palace.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It has a ring to it. And you just need a big, huge fiberglass model of a clitoris on the front.
Oh,
I've got a 3D printer, but I don't think it will print that big.
Well, I'm worried. So I'm getting it wrapped with all vulvas inside flowers. And it's going to be really sneaky so the police don't pull me over. Or people don't like sideswipe
like the wicked buses. The wicked campers were getting a lot of bad rap. Rightly so on a couple of them, but we used to always look out for them.
Yeah,
and
they were fun.
We would always do this as they drove past, like put up a W. So, gosh.
Yeah.
Ellie, how I wish that I was 20 years younger and in a life, living in a time when there's social media like this, because my youth was the 70s primary school, 80s, which was the best fucking time, as my teenage years, and my 90s were my young 20 to 30. I was a mother, young mother and married. But geez, I guess...
What was your relationship like with your vulva?
Oh, well, interestingly, I remember having my first orgasm when I was about 10.
Okay, wow. Mine was 28.
Okay. I've gone through periods of up and down. I remember in high school, I had a room to myself under the house, and if you're listening, Mum, avert your ears. I actually bleached my pubic hair. It went yellow and it was horrible, so I shaved it all off. And
what did you bleach it with?
I can't remember, just hydroperoxide or a kit.
Great, I want to try that.
Yeah, I also cut tracks in the side of my hair because I was really not cool. Trying to be cool. I do remember looking at my vulva, but I can't recall my memories of it, but I've never had an aversion to it. I've been told I have a very nice plump juicy pussy, and I like that.
I like those words.
I really do.
Juicy pussy.
Yeah, and it is.
That's what we're talking about, language, how it matters. You can change the narrative in your head when you're looking at yourself by talking to yourself like you would talk to a friend.
Exactly. Being a larger woman and being large for a number of years, obviously skin discoloration, I think, is something that a lot of women and men too feel very self-conscious about, because if you do watch porn, everyone has a bleached anus or bleached vulva, and it's not like that. We
Mine
naturally
is
have
so
ducts.
hairy.
Well, I like to
and
be shaved.
Skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've taken photos of my own vulva during sex as I've orgasmed. I've for a long time, from the age of up to the age of 24, I had never had an orgasm with another person. I'd had lots of sex, but I had never reached that plateau. And it wasn't until I was married, and I'm going to limit what I say, because my ex-husband, he died last year, so out of respect I won't go down that path too much. But what he gave me at that time was trust and confidence and security. And while it wasn't the best relationship and we didn't have a great sex life, when you're immersed in trust, that's where you will find your orgasm. Okay? It's a big, for many women, and there are some women who can have an orgasm at a thought. They don't need any stimulus. But trust is where, it's like if you imagine an oyster, okay? The oyster is the trust and the pearl inside. It's probably not the right analogy. But, so I had orgasms with him for the first time, which was really reassuring that I could do that. Okay? And at that time, my sexual confidence, I was very limited to what I read in Women's Day or Women's Weekly. I was a bit of a, I'd gone from having quite a bit of a ambitious sex life as a single woman to being monogamous during marriage and retreating into myself because I wasn't happy. So the marriage ended by choice, and a year later I took a lover, and we ended up having, I did everything I wanted to ever do with that person, including anal sex. You know, he ended up being in my relationship for 7 years. He was only supposed to be a 6-week route.
6 weeks.
Beautiful bogan, but we weren't meant to be. But we were meant to meet each other at that time. Because I know he's very happy where he is and I'm very happy where I am. But during that relationship, I explored my bisexuality. I had threesomes, I had foursomes, had one-night stands, I had a lover, and I could go home and talk to him about every single act. With joy, and again I was immersed in trust. And
there was no judgment, it sounds
That's right. And my partner, who is my fiance, we don't have we don't have spontaneous sex as much anymore. I'm 55, I'm well into menopause. I went through a phase there where I thought I'd never have sex ever again because I don't ever get that horny feeling. You know that lovely buzz that you get between your legs, like your clitoris is dancing in your pants and you're pulsing, wet? I don't get that anymore. It's gone. But we schedule time for sex. And
intimacy.
Yes. Deep eye gazing does it for me. Kissing. We spend half an hour massaging my vulva. And I just lay back
like my pussy's pulsing.
I lay back like the queen that I am. And he just absolutely worships me. And then I give it back to him. Or we take turns, like this session will be me and the next session is him. So, and what you talked about, the dominatrix before, boundaries, trust and communication, that is the key to good sex, in whether you're vanilla, kinky, doing dominatrix stuff, whatever you're into. They're the 3 components that you need. And I say to people in my community, if you're not sure how to navigate those realms, there's always people out there like yourself, like me, as a maven, sexologist. There's so many people out there now wanting to help each other embrace their sexuality. So I really admire the journey that you're on, Ellie. I think you are going to certainly hit your goals, but you're going to rocket ship this project. And let's close up with, what's the name of the copybook?
Flip Through My Flaps.
Woohoo!
Flip Through My Flaps.
There you go. You heard it here first. In Brisbane, Flip Through My Flaps will eventually be on your coffee table and hopefully in your doctor's surgery as well. And we'll keep tabs on Ellie's adventures and travels and keep you all posted. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Susan, your maven. All the best, everybody. Hope you have lots of orgasms.
I love you.
Thank you for listening to the Maven's Private Diaries. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and took away some wisdom, chuckles or inspiration. Let me know your thoughts, either positive or constructive. You could leave me a review on your listening app. So this podcast is the property of Susan Jarvis, me, the Maven. For inquiries, please visit www.thespicyboudoir.com.